Well, hello everybody. Bug Eater 64 here, and today we are going to be flying in X-Plane12, and we're going to be flying 707, 720. We're going to be going from Princess Juliana to Miami International, and that's going to be a flight a little over 1,000 miles. So with that, let's go ahead and get inside the aircraft and let's get things started. So with that, we'll see you inside. Well, all right, everybody. Here we are with the 707 720 at Juliana, and we're going to be flying from Princess Juliana, St. Martin to Miami International. So we'll get the doors open, get the passengers on, and get ready to go. Now, the flight plan called for 44,000 pounds of fuel. I'm going to carry 51,000 pounds because I just want to be safe. All right, so door is open so we can start loading the passengers. First of all, let's get the call for ground services and get the cart and air cart here so we can get some external power, as this aircraft does not have an APU. Okay, so we've got the external power and the cart attached to the aircraft. So let's go ahead and get some power going. Come on, battery. Come on, battery. There we go. Alright, so get some. Everything's looking pretty good here, as it should. Let's get some. Yep, they get some power to the aircraft. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and get our flight plan ready. So we've already made up a flight plan in Navigraph. Yes, we know. Get rid of that. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and departure. We're going to be doing runway 10 and Pelican 2 and I think, is it Juice? Let's see, we got Pelican 2, runway 10, and Juice. Alright, so that's our departure. Let's look at arrival. It's going to be ILS 9, and it's going to be leg. Look at the next here. Yes, Sanders 3. Okay, and gonna go select leg. And pamper. Okay, so that's all done. Let's look at our legs. Okay. And we're going to be cruising today at 14,000 feet. Okay. I don't think it's going to let me change that. Transition is just transition 18,000 feet. Flight level 180, but it won't let me change any of that. So, yeah, invalid entry. Okay, I understand. I don't like it, but I understand it. Okay, so with that, okay. So we're going to look at discontinuities. That looks good. It's a flight plan, all right. Make sure we don't have any. Which we do. Okay, there's one to so go up to Pamper. And we'll get rid of that discontinuity. Okay, that's all looking good. So, flight plan looks ready to go. Alright, so with the flight plan all set, let's get other housekeeping done. Okay, so turn on our fuel boost. And we can turn one of those off because there's no fuel in that tank. Again, the bird's got a range of 4,000 miles and we're only going 1,000 miles, so we don't need all that fuel, so we're not going to put it on there. So we'll get the fuel system ready, and with that, let's okay, so let's go ahead and look at getting the engines ready to start. So open all the covers. Could do it one at a time, but you know, come on, behave yourself. All right. So we'll arm the emergency lighting. Turn on the nav lights. And our beacon so people outside know what we're doing. Now, with this aircraft, we have to basically start the engines here at the parking ramp, and then we'll do our pushback after our engines are running at idle. Alright, so let's flip that to low pressure and start engine 1. And I don't really hear what I'm used to hearing. I may have forgotten something, because the engine does not sound like it's starting up. Okay. What did I forget? Okay, that's turned on. Engine 1. Starter switch is depressed. But we don't hear any spooling up. Now we know we've got the cart attached to the aircraft. We have external power. But what did I miss? Let's run through this. Okay, generators. Let's turn on some air. There we go. If the air isn't turned on, we got nothing to spool the engine with. So with that, we should be able to start. There's my sound. So engine 1 is spooling up. When it gets to about 20 in the N2, we will introduce fuel. Right there. Now normally you just do one at a time, but because my Warthog HOTAS, one of my power levers is used to introduce fuel. So I do all four at once, which sim lets me do. And generator on. Okay, so we've got engine 1's good engine start. So we're going to speed things up and go through the other engine starts, so because it's, you know, you've seen one, you've seen them all. We'll slow it down again when we get to engine 4. And we'll get engine 4 started, and we'll be ready to do our pushback. We've already got the gateway pushed away, and we've got the doors closed, so we're good to go. And so, put our galley power on, and we can go ahead and put our power to aircraft generator, turn off external power, and disconnect the carts. checking everything here, air pressures. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and disconnect the part. Doors are closed, everything's set. And so we can get ready to, let's go, okay. Seat belts, no smoking. All is good. Turn that off. Close all the covers. And we'll just do some of our panel lightings because it gets a little bit dark in this cockpit. Alrighty. So auto brake is off for takeoff. That's good. Alright, so it all looks good here. We should be ready for our pushback. So, yeah, baggage loader is pulling away. We'll call for our pushback. Okay, so the pushback is coming. And we turn on all our hydraulics there so that we can have ground steering. Otherwise, we couldn't do that. So with the hydraulics turned on, let's go ahead and double check. Yep, all right. We got ground steering. And you can see on the left there, it's coming towards the aircraft. So with that, we will wait till we get confirmation that they've hooked up and they're ready to go. So let's go ahead and set our altitude for today's flight. Which is 14,000 feet. Yep. We are ready to go. So let's go ahead and release the parking brake, which is released. And we can go ahead and do the pushback. Okay, so parking brake back on. Tractor will disconnect and be on its way, and once it is, we can go ahead and begin our taxi down to the end of runway 10. And so we are ready to fly. Okay, let's go ahead and begin our taxi. Flaps are set for takeoff position. And according to the windsock on the left there, it looks like we may have a bit of a crosswind takeoff. But it looks like it's kind of swirling. It should not be a problem. Rotation speed will be about 140. Let's go ahead and just up here, double check. I don't see any aircraft approaching the airfield. Don't hear any radio chatter. Okay. Go ahead and head down to the end of the runway. Okay, so let's get up here to the hold short line and just double check everything. Okay, so everything on the upper overhead panel looks good. The flight engineer panel looks good. Yeah, I think we are ready to go. And there we have it. So, everything's looking good. Let's get started onto the runway. Okay, everything looks good here. All pre-flight checks are complete. Okay, hold the brakes. Let's apply power. Brakes released. Yep, there's a little bit of a crosswind here. Let's keep it going. Airspeed is alive. It's 100, 120, 140, and rotate. Okay, we have positive rate. Gear up. And we don't want to break the rules, so we gotta pull back the throttles a little bit so we don't go beyond 250 knots. Because we don't want to get into any trouble, not for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the autopilot on. And so it's turned on. So we're climbing nicely. Let's see here. Okay, I don't believe that we are following the... I know what I did. Yep, I made a mistake. We are flying the heading, and not flying the flight plan. So, let's turn it back to nav lock, and it will take over and fly the route it's supposed to, which at this point means that it's basically going to be making the circle and get back on our flight plan. So hey, now you know why I put the extra fuel in case I make mistakes like this, so that it doesn't cause me any problems when I do that. But we all get to see the scenic view of St. Martin and Princess Juliana. So, with that, we pull back on the throttle some so that we don't go over 250 knots. Right now we're presently at about 243. So, still climbing to 14,000 feet. But we are on our way. Okay, so we are approaching our final destination. And we've dropped down to about 5,000 feet right now, and we're still going to be losing some altitude, but we're going to be approaching Miami. The flight has been uneventful. We did hit some rain, but everything went well with that. But because of the weather that we're going to be seeing here in Florida, we may have a pretty strong crosswind on landing, so we'll see how that goes. We're still scheduled to land on runway ILS 9 left, so we'll get prepared to do just that. Okay, so first degree of flaps. And we can see the weather off to our right there. So we're moving right along. Making our turn onto approach very shortly. Okay, so we have all our lights are on that need to be on. Okay, so I'm going to slow down some more. Yep, the runway's right out straight ahead. Okay, so auto throttle off. And flaps to second degree. Okay. Autopilot off. I have the aircraft. Oh yeah, I can feel the wind. Yeah, we're going to have a bit of a crosswind landing. We'll do the best we can. Landing gear down. Auto brake is set to 3. So I'm guessing she'll stop pretty quick. Yeah, that wind's really pushing. Okay, so especially with these flaps down, this bird has really big flaps. So yeah, this won't be a gentle landing. I need to get her on the ground with this wind. Okay, yeah, it's definitely crosswind, blowing me off to the right. We'll keep fighting it and see what we can do. Okay, coming in. Yep. Right of center. Let's get her down. Yep. Come on. Yep, floated it. Okay. Let's get her down. There we are. Little bounce. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to need reversers. The auto braking's working great. Matter of fact, probably a little bit too much. Okay. Down safe. Not the best landing in the world, but that was pretty good crosswind. Alright, let's get her cleaned up. let's get off the runway. Get the flaps up. Okay, so cross the runway and move to the gates. All right, welcome to Miami. Well, another flight completed, made some money for FS Airlines, and all in all, not a bad flight. The landing wasn't the greatest, absolutely. We had a very strong crosswind with the weather coming in, rainstorms and so on. But that being said, we did make the flight and really had no problems at all, except, pilot not knowing what he's doing. But that's okay. That's what this is all about, just having some fun, and we did. I had a lot of fun bringing this to you. I sure hope you enjoyed it. And this aircraft, the 707-720 for X-Plane, very nice. I have no complaints with it. It's a fun airplane, and I sure enjoy flying it. So until next time, this is Bug Eater 64, and as always, please remember, safe flying.